I haven't used this computer on one of these yet, so I don't know if it's working or not. Anybody hear me? Let me look here. Hey, Tim, how you doing? Oh, it's working? Oh, hey, Mixed Gas. Hey, Mary, how you doing? I haven't used this computer with this yet. Hotter than hell here, man. They've had heat warnings out every day. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? I don't feel that great, to be honest with you. Real burner out there. I'm going to turn off the ceiling fan now. I got it going too fast. I don't know if I mentioned it or not. Did I tell you my wife can't pay me? She can't come up with the money. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I could have done something already. Moving's done. Yeah, pretty. Yeah. I mean, I'm lazy, man. I don't know if it's just getting older or what, but yes, the books. Yeah, I still got a bunch more to do. I got every excuse in the world. I don't get anything done. Most of my books. Yeah, I got my garage still a disaster. It just got where it was too hot. I never did figure out that hives thing. I don't know if it's. I don't know what it's from. To be honest with you, it's starting to look like it's from heat. I've ruled everything out. There's only one other thing that I think it could be. And, I've had skin cancer before, and sometimes I put that sunblock on, and I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. The sensitivity. I don't really know. I haven't had them lately. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about that, to be honest with you. I mean, she already owes me like $4,700 a month in interest every month. She already owes me like another 12 grand. I don't think she can pay that. This is the downside of when you have some property and you have this false bullshit appreciation like they've had in Florida. I mean, this has happened in a lot of states now. You can even own your property and you can't afford to live there because of the taxes, because of these inflated bullshit thing. Florida is just insane. That place went up $1.8 million since my divorce final. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet, to be honest with you. My wife's actually a good person, ex-wife. I mean, I don't have any bad thing to say about her, Mysterious rash, she can't. Thought it was hives after trial. Yeah, allergy to the sun. Yeah, you're absolutely right. What happens is you can actually become allergic to your own sweat. There's a name for it. It starts with a C. I think mine's heat, not sun, but sun can definitely do it for sure. Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what I was thinking about. I mentioned this yesterday a little bit. This Epstein thing, man. I mean, you couldn't have a better setup with anybody with a pedophile like that. And the Russians will do anything. So, they have no regard for human rights. They hate gays, trans, of God knows what they do to you over there if you want to do that. So if they'd have got into him early on, because I'll tell you, it's a big mystery as far as how Epstein actually made all his money. Nobody really can tell you how. And anybody that knew the inside track with regard to his finances and what he said he did, just said that it didn't add up. So, which makes you think, was he funded somewhere along the line? I see that they're not going to grant that Maxwell immunity, which figures. You know what that means? They talked to her and she really couldn't give them any good shit that they didn't already have. The government learned that lesson with Ollie North years ago. Before you grant somebody immunity, find out what they're going to tell you. When they granted immunity to Ollie North, he told them, I'm not telling you a fucking thing. It's like, well, we're revoking the immunity. It's like, too late for that. You already granted it. So not only was he not charged, he didn't have to divulge anything, but they changed the rules after that. So I got an idea that she didn't really come up with anything they didn't already have. I'll tell you another interesting thing, too, that makes me think this Russian Epstein connection. There's Avila. It was a prosecutor in Florida that really was lenient on him when he pled guilty to his first sex crime down there in Florida. And he said in an article that was quoted in the New York Times as saying he did so because it was his understanding that he was part of an undercover spy mission, and he believed it. So what's that tell you? And not only that, when they, yeah, that could be. And not only that, they think that it's sketchy on just exactly what they found when they went over to Epstein's Island. Although the articles suggest that they found just like tons of hidden cameras, all sorts of DVDs, thumb drives, all sorts of video. And you can imagine how damning that would be. I mean, Bill Clinton went there 26 times. Now, Donald Trump says he was never on the island. And he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago years ago. And in 2004, they had an agreement over property. So which is it? A disagreement over property. You had a disagreement over property, or you kicked him out, he said, because he was a creep. Well, but the whole thing stinks. Let's put it that way. Hey, Angie, how you doing? How's it going? Yeah, I think it stinks. Florida was a good time. I went over to Hilton Head the other day. This heat's supposed to back off here in a few days, but I know they've been dropping like flies around Atlanta. Yeah. So I don't know. I'll be glad when it is too hot out, I think. The vultures haven't been around 3 days. Never had that happen. The mother and the babies. The dad's been around. So who knows what's going on there. I told you I quit my New York Times subscription. It was just getting here too late. Now, funny enough, I got Sundays yesterday, which was Tuesday, which wasn't bad. And if it had kept coming at that rate, I could live with that. But I'm not waiting a week or 2 weeks to get a newspaper. It's just too old a news. Oh, grabbing lunch. Oh, good for you. How's the weather up there? You got a good summer going on? Man, planes been crashing left and right all summer long, all over the place. I see out in Idaho yesterday or 2 days ago, a guy, his wife, and their baby got killed in a Mooney, taken off. There's some places, density altitude, hot, humid days like this just kill the performance of propeller-driven airplane. Honestly, that's the only time I almost killed myself in an airplane. I was with my wife, her fat girlfriend, and a puppy, and it was density altitude, taken off out of Gaylord, Michigan. I barely cleared the tops of these buildings and barely made it about 60 miles away to West Branch. Density altitude, and those old, I went out and bought a new plane a month later. Thought, fuck, I'm not letting this happen to me again. It scared the hell out of me. I mean, like I thought for a second, man, I'm going to die here. I can't believe I'm going to get killed in a plane crash. That was the only close call I had. A lot of planes flying over here. I'll tell you something, too, that Air India crash. I mean, it's obvious, they don't know what to do with this. It was a crazy suicidal pilot, but they still haven't explained why the damn flaps were up and the gear was down. That was the shittiest preliminary report I've ever read. Oh, you did get a lot of rain, really? Yeah, we had a little rain last night, actually. What else was I going to tell you? Man, I'll tell you, I don't know how these young people, you talk to young people now in their 20s and stuff, and they just have like, they don't know what the hell to do. They're all working 2, 3, 4 jobs. I met some young girls working down there at that Starbucks. They all worked like 4 jobs. Another girl worked at a uh, Texas roadhouse. I tell you what happened to me on my steak down there. I'm not a big meat eater. I've really cut back on it, and I have because if something happens to me, like if I get a bad health problem, man, I'm fucked. I don't have any relatives, no family. I mean, I know Marty and his wife would like do something, but man, I don't want to burden people like that. So, at this stage of the game, there are things that I think about that if I have a chance of, you know, tempering a little bit, I do. And eating red meat is one of those. So when I get out of town, sometimes I stayed in Marco Island there, and it's easy to get a decent steak. I'll tell you, for the money, you cannot beat it. Hey, Pretty News, how you doing? Oh, thank you. Oh, you live next to Lockheed. Oh, interesting. Uh, you can't beat Texas Roadhouse. No way. That guy killed himself from ear ringing. He said he was a great guy, but for a good steak at a reasonable price, it is reasonable too in this day and age. Texas Roadhouse, you can't beat it. It's just a great vibe in those places. I'd love to get a hold of one of their training manuals. I'll tell you who else does an excellent job with training too is Starbucks. But anyway, so I go down there, I get a ribeye one night. It's like, I don't know, $34 or something like that. So it's kind of loud in there. Hey, it's Lanny Cindy. How are you? How's it going? It's kind of loud in there. And the guy, they have what was called a Fort Worth ribeye. So the guy says, well, what can I get you? I said, I want this and I even pointed to it on the menu. I want this large ribeye. It was like $34. And I didn't think too much of it. Ordered my thing. I'm sitting there. I get this like huge steak. I mean, giant. I mean, like huge. So I said, why is this steak so big? He said, I don't know, man. It just must have been the end of the cut. Well, that makes sense. As it turns out, if I forget to tell you this, you can get custom cut steaks there. So if you ever go there, I say that's the way to go. I mean, and when you go in there, they have all their steaks displayed in the glass thing. So I ate this thing barely. I couldn't quite finish it, but almost. I didn't even eat any of my sides. It was so much steak. So it was so finally the bill comes. And instead of I have one margarita, and my bill should have been like $53. My bill is like $87. It's like, what the fuck is this, man? And believe me, I didn't want a steak that big. So the guy comes over. I said, hey, why is this steak I get charged as much? He said, well, you said that you wanted, here we go. You said you wanted a 38 ounce or the biggest steak we had. I never said that. I didn't get shitty about it. And I'm not a guy I don't never complain when I go places. I said, I didn't say that. I said, as a matter of fact, I just pointed to this steak that I got last night here and said, I want this. I never said 38 ounces of the biggest steak you got. Well, as it turns out, I got charged for like the biggest one plus $2 per ounce for every ounce over what the biggest one was on the menu. It came up to be like 34-ounce steak, which is just huge. So the manager, I wasn't bitchy. I was nice to the guy. And the guy comes over and he said, I'm sorry. He said, let me get the manager. I said, no, get the manager. Don't. Hey, Larry, how you doing? I said, don't get the manager. So the manager comes over. He said, there's a problem. I said, no, there's not a problem, really. It's like, yeah, I know something's going on. Just what it is. I said, well, I'm not, there's just a misunderstanding. I said, if I didn't want, but I ate it all too, almost. So I paid for it. But here, remember this, when you go into a Texas Roadhouse, you can go in there and get any size steak you want. And that's kind of nice to know because sometimes you're like a little extra hungrier. Yeah, I know. It was a huge pound. It was a huge steak. It was good as hell, too. I had a good time. There's a homeless girl down there. I'll tell you, like I was talking to people when I was down there and I asked you guys, I really do like interviewing people. I enjoy it. but there's got to be a purpose for it. And if it's not a good purpose, I can't do it. An example. So I go down to that Starbucks. I didn't have a car down there, which I want to not have a car. I'm not disciplined enough to not use it. So I go down there, and there's a vacant, it was an old Pollo Tropical chicken place, still in good shape. Everything's like crazy expensive down there. And I see a girl in a hammock. And I thought, oh man, it's hot out. You know what I mean? So the next day I saw her in the Starbucks. I said, hey, is that you over there? She said, yeah. I said, well, I'll stop over there later. So anyway, I bought her dinner every day I was there at a really good Thai place. No big deal. Didn't really talk too much. And during that time, I asked you guys, I said, hey, I quit interviewing homeless because honestly, I'd just rather give them stuff if they need something and not interview them because I don't see any purpose for it. I just don't. Nothing really gets better, So I even though I asked, do you would like me to interview this lady? People wanted me to do it. I just didn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And, it's hot down there, right? She told me she had a temper problem. She couldn't keep jobs. No drugs, that she didn't use any drugs, which I don't know. She didn't look like a drug user. Well, anyway, before I left, I thought, in a weird way, you cross paths with people and you think, I thought, well, I'll get a Starbucks card. So I got a $50 Starbucks card. I went over there the morning I was leaving, and she was sleeping, and I didn't want to wake her up, so I put it on her shoe. Super sweet girl, but the homeless thing, I just never could really get into it, and I just can't see the sense of it. Prostitutes, I really like doing that, but I have people want me to interview them. I will be going back to Detroit. I just don't know when. But honestly, I mean, if there's not a good reason to do it, if it some ways helps these people, or there's not like something to it rather than I just can't get into it anymore. I just think it's like not good. I do. So I probably won't be doing them, even though I like doing them. Now, what else I'm going to tell you? I went to Hilton Head and back Monday. It's a great drive, beautiful, raining like hell. That's another place I wouldn't want to live, Hilton Head. I think that place is so ridiculously overrated. Look, I appreciate my time. There's a good Jewish deli there. They could actually do a sitcom. It's called Grubbies. I hear him pronounce the name different, even the people that work there. He's got a brother that owns one in Atlanta. Of course, Atlanta's a nightmare, but they have a great lox platter. I like going there. They got a little like small Barnes & Noble, but there's no downtown. The water's murky looking. There's traffic up the ass. I just missed, when I went there Monday night. Well, another thing about, they're real environmentalists over there. I mean, you'll get a $500 ticket. No problem getting too close, taking a picture of an alligator. They've had 2 people drown there in the last 2 weeks too. And because of their environmental concerns and these sea turtles, I don't think it's the sea turtles everywhere. I just think they're like that. There's no lights, and that is the darkest place you'll ever be in your life is Hilton Head at night. They got all these hidden signs. Boulder, Colorado's like that too. All these hidden signs, darker than holy hell, man. And when I came through there, I took 2 dogs over there. That's why I went over there. And I don't like it enough that I could stay there, and I don't. I get in and get out, even though I like the Jewish deli. So I dropped the dogs off and turned right around and headed out of there. And just where I'd passed when I came in like 10 minutes earlier was a 3-car pileup. And I'm glad I didn't get in that. And I took Marty's truck over there. Hey, Ray, how you doing? Man, I'm glad I wasn't in there. Was 1 car was pushed up on the thing and 2 were smashed good. I don't see how they get that banged up with speeds that slow. There were like 4 sheriffs, but what a pain in the ass that would have been. Over there, car wrecked. Got to get back. Oh, my God. And what else am I going to tell you? But other than that, things have been pretty good. I don't know what I'm gonna do on this wife thing. I'm not really worried about it too much. I hope she doesn't listen to these chats because I won't even charge her the interest she owes me. I mean, but I've been good about this stuff. I still didn't get what I thought I should have. Hey, I want to. Hey, if I ask you guys, I want you. If I ask you a question, I want a serious answer. Do you got enough nuts to give me that if I ask you something? If I ask you a straight up question, will you give me a straight up answer? I wouldn't say I've struggled with it, but it's things that have crossed my mind regarding this divorce thing. You know, I think I try to be a good guy about things. Okay, so, you know, I moved, you know, I get lucky. I mean, I'm the laziest motherfucker you'll ever meet in your life. I swear to God, I really am. I don't get anything done. I've just kind of fumbled my way through not working, to be honest with you. Just one good, and the first main stroke of good luck I had was that detective agency. You know, in Michigan, you know, I had jobs. I worked bullshit jobs, went to college. I didn't graduate till I was 24, you know, dropping out, fucking around, stuff like that. And I had like terrible grades the whole way through, but I did end up getting a degree in criminal justice, right? So I ended up graduating, and I was planning on being a cop the whole time. So when I was a kid, there were a state trooper post in my little town. And my mom was always talking. My mom was like, you know, always having affairs and shit like that. I didn't know that at the time. But she was always talking about this good-looking cop. His name was Tom Endelman. He did. He kind of looked like Robert Redford. I didn't get that at the time. And anyway, I had a girlfriend up at Michigan State from like 77 to 79. And I was up there one day, and I ran into him. And I was only like 22, 23 or something like that. And he remembered me from a kid. I ran into him in a restaurant. We get talking. And he said, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, I just got this degree in criminal justice. I want to be a policeman. I hadn't even started applying yet. And he said, you ought to be a private detective. And he was still a state trooper. He was working in the, at the time, Michigan licensed private detectives through the state police. It's not like that now, but it was then. And they made a big deal about it. I mean, they were on your ass about everything. Well, now it's the same license you get if you were a hairdresser. You know, the state police don't do it. Well, I said, I'd think about it. And he sent me an application. I didn't fill it out. And he followed up on it. He called about a month later. He said, you ought to really thinking about being a PI. It's like, yeah, okay. And I kind of like the business thing. So I filled it out. And I got licensed just by virtue of having a 4-year degree in criminal justice, which is an absolute joke. I didn't know the first thing about it. I mean, I knew what PIs did on TV and stuff. So I got a job at General Motors in security, and I started out in 1980 and a half at $38,000 a year, full benefits. It was considered a white collar job, and I worked midnight shifts. And in the daytime, I just started going out. I got my PI license. I'd go out and I'd bang on doors and say, hey, you need PI services. And it's like, yeah, okay. So finally, this couldn't happen again. This shows you how timing, luck, it happens in relationships, your neighbors, anything. So I had this one company just trying to take me under their wing, Amerisure, right off the bat. And it's like, you know, after a couple months, it's like, oh, how am I doing? It's like, well, not that great. It's like, this is what you need to do. And they photocopied a bunch of reports from other PIs and said, this is the kind of report that you need to do. Marty had the same thing happen. He used to be a car salesman. So I thought, oh, man, these reports are really good. You know, it's like, man, my work sucks. So I started doing that kind of stuff, and I got better at it. And within 6 months, I was making, you know, I started out at GM making that kind of money, which was good money back then. Hell, that'd be good money now. Within 6 months, I made $50,000 part-time as a PI. And I thought, man, the sky's the limit on this. So I quit my GM job, and it was off to the races. And honestly, I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you, this is a story of luck. I couldn't do this now. I was making like 200 grand a year within a year and a half. This was back in the early 80s. So I had it for 10 years, bought a bunch of shit, paid cash for my house, all that kind of stuff, just was bored. I'm good at starting a business, but not good once they get up and running. And I was just getting burned out. There was a big thing. It was on Nightline. It was a information broker scandal where a bunch of PIs got charged with what they considered stolen information. And I didn't get charged in it, but everybody I knew did. That's another story. And I'll tell you what it was. Mainly the work that I did was surveillance, like if you had a hurt back, that kind of thing. But I knew some guys that were, what would happen is when you filed a workers' comp complaint case, they'd wait a year or two and then they'd hire a guy like me. And my job was to go out and either catch you out of your restrictions. In other words, if you had like a 5-pound weight restriction and I got you bowling, you were fucked. If I found out you worked someplace. But the big thing back then, the economy was much better, is if I caught you working. So this guy approaches me. I knew him from a long time ago, and the state police hated him. And he said, hey, I really got this good thing on it's information brokering. I said, well, what is it? And he said, well, there's 2 years and there's 5 years. The 2 year was, I forget how much it was, and it give you 2 years of where somebody worked. Well, you knew it was good shit, and you knew you shouldn't have had it. But since I wasn't the guy getting it, I mean, where do you get this stuff unless you work somewhere? And then there was a 5 year, and what it would be is you'd pay a fee, and you'd get a 5-year summary where these people work. So all of a sudden, I went from like kicking everybody's ass. I mean, I ended up paying cash for an airplane in a year. No shit. Just off that, not counting making great money through surveillance. So everything's going great, and I'm not directly involved in obtaining this information. Other people are. As it turns out, it went down through about 6 different channels. All of a sudden, one day, 11 PIs, 5 police officers, 3 people that worked for Social Security, 15 people that work for the unemployment offices in different states get indicted on a federal indictment for stealing information. And they even indicted a couple people that were the receivers of the information, guys like me. And right from the get-go, when 2 of the guys that I knew that were in thick got charged, I already knew, they told me that they were pressing on them on who their clients were. Now, here's the funny thing about it. You know who my best client was when I was getting all this shit? The state of Michigan. Yeah, it was my best client. So I told them that if you're going to, next time you, and these were federal charges. The indictment came out of Tampa, Florida, even though I was living in Michigan. Well, as it turns out, there were all sorts of wiretaps and all sorts of fucking bullshit. And the only reason they didn't get me on the phone is because during the dates that they did the wiretaps, I was on vacation. It was a 2-week period. There were 3 taps on my phones, and I wasn't around. That's the only reason I didn't get charged. And this is how federal charges go. All of a sudden, you get charged. You're in deep shit with the state. They temporarily, I don't know if they could have taken my license away, but you can imagine that this was a big fucking deal. And I thought right away, oh my God, man. So the 2 guys I knew, I actually flew to all their court hearings early on in Tampa, went down there because I didn't want them getting soft on ratting me out. And they didn't. Neither one of them did. So I go, they end up pleading guilty to felonies. All the cops lose their job, all the federal employees. And as it turns out, what it was drug addicts that worked for the Social Security Administration and for these different states in the unemployment office. And that's how the whole ball got rolling. And the guy he wrote a couple famous books, actually. Lee Lapin was his name. That's the guy that got, as it turns out, what this, I paid 10 grand up front to be able to order those. And whatever it was, $25 each for the 25-year and $50 each for the 5-year. And I was marking it up like 5 times. I was getting fucking rich doing this shit. So when that whole thing came out, there was a big article in the Detroit News. And the state of Michigan called me and said, hey, you're not part of this fucking information broker thing, are you? It's like, no. Well, I still ended up getting them, but I didn't get as much. Anyway, I made clear to these guys, I said, hey, look, you make sure you tell these guys if you're negotiating that if they're going to charge me, I'm going to tell them who my best client was, the state of Michigan. I mean, if everybody's supposed to know this is information you shouldn't have, they should have known it too. Now, I don't really think that had anything to do with me not getting charged, because that was pretty much established by then. And it seems like if but I do know when I went back and looked through the paperwork, that's how I knew that I was out of town during those wiretaps. Yeah, I got out of it. But during the time, there was a lot of talk about, Tom Reed, do you think this fucker did that? How come he doesn't offer this service anymore? Yeah, I can tell you that. I dodged one bullet. I had to bullshit my way out of that. I said that this is what I did. I sent a blast email to all my clients and said that we had, in the past, smile face, had been satisfied with people that provided us with certain data, but the information became inaccurate and we didn't trust our source. Therefore, we were no longer offering that as a service. Fuck yeah, I was trying to find a way out of it. Because I had people calling me saying, no, I want to order that. Why don't you have it anymore? If you didn't have anything to do with it, why can't I order one? And, so this was kind of the tension in the air. So anyway, I got guys working for me. I had like 29 employees at the time. One guy was a pro baseball player. He's a star athlete at the University of Michigan. The other guy just didn't have luck. I mean, like many small businesses, my place wasn't a career. It was like, okay, but you weren't going to work for me 40 years, that kind of thing. So anyway, I didn't know first of all, I'm already making great money, but that's how I got into PI, which is luck. I'm like printing money, which is luck. I've made a ton of money through this information, which is luck. But I'm a little nervous about, this shit in the news, and people asking me about it all the time. So I just said to the guys that are working for me, it's like, I said, hey, you guys ever think, would you be consider buying me out? It's like, yeah. It's like, what do you want for it? Long story short, I figured out the purchase price with interest, $175,000 down, which was a lot of money in 1992. And it was like $8,900 a month for 10 years. Well, the one guy's parents had a connection to money somehow. So anyway, I based this off just guessing. I mean, that business is still in business, but it's never been as good as when I owned it. And it's just the nature of the business, not because I did anything. Actually, I think they're better owners than me. So anyway, they come back about a week later. They said, we'll take it. It's like, you got to be kidding me. They did. Gave me 175 down. Now, this is where I know, and this is where I can explain to you that I'm a lazy fucker. The minute I had a chance not to work, I didn't. I thought, fuck, I'm going to be able to sleep in every day. So I moved down to Florida. I bought 20 acres, which was $220,000 at the time. I bred dromedary camels and tropical birds, and then I built a bed and breakfast. So this is leading into the question I'm going to ask you. So long story short, now I was married at the time, and she was with me when I didn't have any money. So we had a great life. I mean, all our shit was paid for. She went to Europe, got her master's degree, and had new cars and all that kind of fucking shit. So we go down to Florida, and then there's my money and there's her money. Well, she didn't have that much money. She was a full-time therapist. And I put 150 down on that, and I got on the 20 acres. And then I spent about another 400 on a new bed and breakfast. So I had about maybe 5, 10, something like that into it. And so, we take off. We're both in it. My name's on all that fucking shit. Although now when I left, that business was worth nothing. And even in my divorce argument, even though the bed and breakfast pays for everything, she still works full time. And, taxes, everything fucking is insanely expensive. It wasn't making any money. But now, mind you, this is a conservative estimate. That's $510,000 of my money in 1993, for sure. Not hers, just stuff that I did. So time goes on, the bed and breakfast starts doing better. And if it was up to me, it would have never done shit. It sucks. It's a lot of work. There's nothing glamorous. People are a pain in the ass. So about 5 years into it, she comes up to me and, now mind you, but the property's still worth a lot, just not the business part. She said, well, she'd meet some fucking guy and he's a fucking lawyer and they offered me 50 grand. It's like, fuck you. No, 50 grand's not going to do it. Forget it. They end up breaking up. He goes away. So here's what happened. So the property goes up to it's worth like $4.6 million or some shit now. It's ridiculous, man. But my argument was passive appreciation, which is true. This property is worth this much now, not because of anything you did, but because the way the properties went up. I didn't get into the nuts and bolts, all that other shit, because it didn't matter. But the truth of the matter is, after about 5 years, and I paid for everything for the first 2 years I left in 1998, plus everything while I was there. I paid everything for 2 years. And she calls me up one day. This is when she starts having a relationship with this guy. Says, well, I don't want you sending any more money. Now, she said in our divorce trial that's because she didn't want me micromanaging. That's not it at all. I found out from the girl that was working there with her, she felt guilty that I was paying anything, and a guy had moved in with her. And she just didn't think that was fair. It had fucking nothing to do with me micromanaging. So I went down there a couple times over the years, found out there was a boyfriend, had a fucking fit, that kind of thing. And she still can't come up with money. Anyways, time went on. 2007, as a matter of fact, I just didn't go down there anymore. I knew I was going to get in trouble if I kept fucking around. The place was going up. I knew it. And her parents were real frugal, cheap people. And you would have guessed just by their lifestyle, people that, the mom just died at 92 here a few years ago. People in their era, if they were cheap and frugal and invested conservative, it's not uncommon they could be worth $3-4 million. So it was always kind of assumed, even though it wasn't talked about much, is these people had some bucks. And when the mother would die, how in God's name was she ever going to afford to pay me other than having the mom die? Because even if you get a loan on $4 million, you got to make the fucking payments. Right? So unless you get cash somewhere, even though you can pay that off or pay me off, you're not going to be able to afford to live there. So we go to fucking court. And my fucking stupid lawyer argues this passive appreciation. And her attorney just paints me out to be like a fucking bullshitter, a womanizer, a guy that just abandoned her. Well, let me stop you right there. I didn't abandon anybody. I documented what I paid for after I left. And after all, I talked to an attorney before I left. And he said, just make sure you file joint income tax. And if I'm abandoning you, how do we file joint income tax the whole time I'm fucking gone? It was an absolute lie. They look stupid about it. Abandon you. So you got to go through 3 mediations while you're down there in Florida. And I give her credit for doing a good job. And that's true. It's worth what it is because she weathered the storm. But on the other hand, my attorney did a shitty job because he hung his hat on passive appreciation. Her attorney just made me look like the biggest abandoning, womanizing fucking dirtbag that ever lived. Came up with some excuse on fucking why we filed. It's just a big fucking lie. So the 3 mediations, the most she offered me was $250 grand. And I thought, fuck that, man. If you pay me simple interest on half of what you know that I paid. Anyway, we go to trial. I have a fucking bitch judge. I lose. Actually, the judge bought into everything her attorney said. You have a potential judgment on how you think things should go. And these judges are so far behind, even though they'll get their ass chewed and they'll be violated if they get caught. She took my wife's attorney's proposed settlement and copied it verbatim. Perfect. And I lost. It was 80 fucking 20. She got 80% of the value. I got 20, which is still pretty good on like 3-some million. And I was like, okay, a little bit about that, but I thought I should have deserved more. If you could have came up with 400 grand on a thing that's worth $4 fucking million, I'd have taken it. Doesn't happen. So this fucking loser lawyer I got, I mean, they paid me just like a big. Okay, let me give you an example. I sold some parrots before I left for like $160,000. She got almost all that fucking money. But you know, when you're in court and they're asking you fucking questions, you can't just bring up shit and turn it into a Jerry Springer. So it's like the fucking lawyer who kicked my lawyer's ass says to me, "Did you sell your parrots?" It's like, "Yeah, I did." "Were you living in Chicago?" "I was." "You got a check for $160,000, didn't you?" "Yeah, I did." "And did you send any to Cheryl?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, can you document it?" It's like, no, it's like 30 fucking years ago. So you can't prove that she got any of that. It's like, I know, but we were a married couple. It was a marital asset. No, I can't prove it. So it's one of these yes or no type things. You can't explain your way out of it. So right then is when I got a first inkling I was getting my ass kicked. So I'm pissed off. I get awarded 20%. I file an appeal and win, get it reversed. And now, so she owes me like fucking shit tons of money, right? And the only way that she could afford it, if you could only come up with 250 grand, which I think was a stretch to begin with, how in the fuck are you going to come up with 400 grand or 500 or now $1 million something, 2 million, right? You're not. So we go through all this bullshit, come up with all these things. And she never pays. What she should have done is she should have paid me interest on the original verdict. See, the interest starts on the original verdict. It wasn't whether she was not going to have to pay me. It was how much. But the 20%, she should have started paying interest on then. She didn't. She didn't pay any interest. So the clock's been running the whole time. And now it started on the new amount. So just my interest from her per month is like $4,400. She's fucked. I mean, and I don't want to be a fucking douchebag about it. I mean, I don't talk to her anymore. I mean, I wouldn't say there's bad blood, but and I wouldn't tell her this, but I would waive the interest, you know, because I'm trying to work with her. But to me, there is no way in hell she's coming up. So here's the $50,000 question. Do you think that I deserved half, less than half, 25%? She ran the entire thing the whole time I was gone since 98. How much of what it's worth now do you think I deserve? And I'm not trying to be a ball buster, but this is my question. Hey, Pug, how you doing? Yeah, yeah. So my options now, I got these fucking lawyers. One of them I like, the other one I just chewed his goddamn ass out so bad. I don't give a fuck what they think about me. But, you know, they're chomping at the bit because now what I could do, and I'm trying not to do this, is force a court order to force the sale of the home. Well, I don't really want to do that. If I had to guess, I think she's trying to get rid of her boyfriend through this, but that's old news. So the whole scenario, how much do you think? My argument is you should have given me close to what was my money going into it. Yeah, there's no way I'm getting half. Yeah. Yep. And to think I would have taken 400 grand and gotten lost. Now you got to come up with like, you know, fucking $2 million. It ain't fucking happening. Now the interest thing's racking up at like $4,400 a month. I mean, she's since May 23rd. So she already owes me like another 10 grand in interest. I mean, it's gotten to the point now where I think it's like monopoly money. I mean, you are not coming up with anything. The only way out of that is to sell that place, which I hope she doesn't have to do. But fuck, it's not my problem. I mean, I don't want to be a dick about it, but she wants. I know what it is. She's in love with the place, and she can't afford it, like a lot of divorces. And I think today, if she called me right now and said, "Hey, I was listening to your live. Thanks for not talking shit about me, but how about I give you 500 grand? It's all I can come up with. I'd take it. I got a great life, man. I mean, good as possible. I don't really need the money. It's just more of like a principle thing, and my lifestyle's not going to change. I got a nice place. I bought a bunch of shit down here since I've been divorced. I mean, she still made out like great financially, which, I'll tell you this, man. I'm going to toot my own horn on this. Even when I was a young guy, I remember thinking, like, I don't want to be one of these fucking guys that like use these women up and, they're jaded and disappointed. Man, I even believe this shit. They all financially were better knowing me than if they hadn't been, just by not being a dick. Not that I was like their sugar daddy. And even ones that I got rid of that I just got sick of. I know it sounds terrible. I'm a terrible boyfriend, by the way. I paid to send them psychiatrists and shit so they like weren't depressed. I mean, I tried to be a good guy, as good as possible, when the fun wore off. And I've realized that it's crystal clear now. I wish I would have caught on more when I was younger. I'm just like a fucking terrible guy. Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't want one anymore. The relationships go south. So I don't know what's going to happen on this, but these fucking lawyers want to file this shit so they can start charging $500 an hour again. And I haven't heard from them, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't really, really. You'd think this bothers me, but it doesn't. It doesn't really bother me that much. It doesn't, because I live a good life either way. But that's good. That's my story about how lucky I got. I don't know jack shit. I get into a PI business. I start making crazy money. I sell it for crazy money, and it just parlayed into one fucking thing after another. And all because of that bullshit fucking detective agency. Now they've tried to sell the PI business is down. Nobody's getting jobs anymore. You're not catching anybody working. You're trying to get them out of the restrictions. And since I sold, I'm so far out of the PI business, it's ridiculous. These lawyers coach these guys now. It wasn't quite like the Wild West back then where everybody was making a ton of money. You got a back problem. Your plaintiff's attorney is going to be telling your ass all the time that there's going to be a guy watching you. Do not be doing anything stupid. Don't be getting caught pulling a deer out of the woods. Don't be getting caught bowling. Your whole fucking case is going to go south. So between no jobs, being coached by your lawyer, that piece of pie is much smaller now than it used to be. And a lot of places have better return to work programs now. With me, when these guys faked injuries, they never planned on going back to work there. Well, now the system's kind of set up to where you're going to be doing something. You're going to be greeting people at the door. You're going to be answering the phone, but you're not going to be sitting on your ass at home all day long watching SportsCenter on somebody else's dime. So that work comp thing is all, and the labor market in this place, and I had to do that in like an industrialized city like Detroit. I was licensed in South Dakota, Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, Florida. Yeah, you got to go. There's not enough. You got to go where there are high labor wages, because if you're self-insured, you're getting your ass handed to you. You just can't afford to have 10 people off making $60,000 a year not working. But it's just changed a lot. But anyway, the guys that I sold the place to, they've tried selling it a couple of times, and when they come in and analyze the books, they say, well, there's nothing to sell. And people ask me all the time, what did you actually sell? Yeah, it's a good question. I'll say, I don't know either, but I'm reading the documents and actually getting paid. They paid the whole 10 years. And that is, I guess Goodwill's worth something, but I certainly wouldn't pay that. I wouldn't pay to start. I would just start a business on my own, but it's worked out. It's provided those guys good lives. The one guy's wife died. They've made good money, but not like I did when I was there. And that's just because of what I said. The market's not what it used to be. And I'm constantly looking around at like something like I'd like to get into. I'm just looking at a paper plant a couple 100 miles from here. I've learned this in life, and that is that nothing replaces doing something that isn't fun, and that's like work. I mean, having a bunch of time off isn't as good as it is when you worked your ass off, or you worked a double shift and then you had a week off. I've never found anything to replace that. And the more things that I've run into, and everything's just so half-assed now. And I'm just like anal about like doing a good job. And I just don't really think if I did PI work, I'd probably do a different kind. I think of that. Marty always talks me out of it, but I mean, this is fun when I'm doing, and I like it, but I do miss like being successful at something other than, fucking off all the time. Hang on, I'm gonna fill up my coffee. But that whole thing for me, the whole chain of events on being a PI was just one big, long streak of luck. I mean, I really, and even when I had that agency, I wasn't there that much, man. I had people running the place. I mean, it was just like printing money. Marty got lucky too. He was selling cars. Marty's like the nicest guy in the world. He's the kindest, nicest guy, never in a bad mood. He's like the greatest guy I've ever met in my life. We just like hit it off over the phone, and so weird. I mean, he makes fucking insane money. Crazy money. And I'm glad it can. But he was selling cars. Guy said, "You ever consider like getting into the paper business?" He didn't know a fucking thing about it. He went from making $50,000 a year as a car salesman to making $400,000 a year in 3 years. Kind of like a thing like mine, only way more money. I mean, he makes like $800,000 a month, that kind of shit. Just fucking insane money. Anyway, he could still be just selling cars. Yeah, got lucky. Welfare, working age, 64. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that at all. Well, they raised Social Security. Now it's 67 to get full benefits, and they're trying to put it to 70. Fuck that. Yeah, now I knew they had that welfare reform in Michigan. I mean, in all these programs, I mean, I tell you guys like it is, man. Fucking Trump, man. I mean, if I was faced with the same choices today as I was when Trump got elected, I'd vote for the motherfucker again. I still think it was the best choice, but god damn, is this guy embarrassing. He really is. I mean, I would never fucking have voted for Harris or Biden or any of those fucking lunatics. I was just laying in bed last night thinking, these fucking scumbags, these choices we have now. I mean, now you'd have never had to worry about Jimmy Carter doing any of this crooked shit, which is probably why he wasn't that great of a president. He's too fucking honest. He was a good guy. I went over to Plains and checked out that area. If you ever get a chance to go to Plains, Georgia, do it. I mean, it looks like a TV sitcom. I mean, anywhere you go, it's a little dinky town. Everybody knew Jimmy and Billy and the mom, Lillian, just super interesting. But, man, don't think that, I don't have second thoughts because I'd do it again. I would be very clear. I'd vote for Trump again, but he's a fucking lunatic, man. It's embarrassing that I had to do this shit. I mean, there are people getting hurt in some of these programs, but it was better than the alternative. And anybody that can't vote for these goddamn liberal, crazy Democrats never was self-employed. I mean, they just give away the fucking farm, free everything, man. I shouldn't even brought it up. But, I just cringe when I see a lot of, Elon Musk, another fucking lunatic. I mean, you knew those two weren't going to get along. I mean, I don't know. They need an add-on to the White House just to fit their fucking egos in there. I mean, yeah, he's fucking crazy too. All these guys, once they get this kind of money, even Jeff Bezos, he's like a happy crazy though. I mean, why? I mean, it's just a mystery to me. I mean, you got all this. It just goes to show you, man. You buy into emotion. It's like geisha girls. They don't even have sex with guys. It's just stroking their ego. And I got an idea. This girl that did he married her too. I mean, she looks like a trans to me. I mean, yeah, this is just a guy thing. But as a guy, you'd think with that kind of money, you'd be like, marrying some 22-year-old Swedish cheerleader. I mean, she looks like she's got a dick. And even Trump's wife, I don't find her one bit like Tom Brady's either. They're just manly looking, like Maria Shriver. I mean, they just lack feminine, big square fucking jaws, big like brick foreheads. They look like they ought to have dicks. Yeah, he sure would, Jeff. He absolutely would. He would. Yeah, still better. No, that's the government sucks. It absolutely does. Yeah, he would, man. He's a fucking shitty person. Can you imagine just being around that motherfucker? I mean, his wife, no matter what kind of lifestyle she has, and no matter how many beanie babies, he's built her an auditorium to store them in and alphabetize them. She's gonna crawl in bed with that creep. I mean, this would be like 69 and with Joan Rivers or something. It's still the best country to live in the world, I think. I do. But it's just crazy how fucked up this world is now, man. God damn, man. I don't know. It's absolutely nuts. Yeah, it's broken. Well, Ray, I mean, you look at Ray. Can you believe the stuff that you've witnessed around Detroit since when you started the railroad? The infrastructure's done. No, I think Tom Brady's kind of strange looking too. Here's a guy that's always fucking with his hair too. He seems like a little bitch too, just if he doesn't get his way. But there's an example in sports how some people get better out of college and some people stay the same. He's a guy that continually got better. It's just genetics, I think. And there's a lot of politics in sports too. When I had an airplane there in Ann Arbor when Brady was at Michigan. And there was a guy named Drew Henson that they put all their eggs in one basket. He was a great athlete from Brighton, Michigan. And Brady read the bench, put all their, and he didn't do shit. He didn't do it in football and he didn't do it in baseball. He was a great athlete. But it's just funny, Tom Brady. I mean, it matters where you go to college and where you get drafted. Unless you're just some freak Michael Vick or Larry Bird, you better cross your fingers and pray you get drafted into a system or into a college program that needs you. It's your skill set. Look at Scott Skiles, one of my all-time favorite basketball players. If he and Don Nelson hadn't crossed paths, he'd have never been in the NBA. No way. It's funny how sports work. Yeah, it's just super weird. Well, I mean, Trump's trying. I mean, he's fucking crazy, man. I just hope he doesn't do something like, he's crazy enough to do something really fucking stupid. Even my fellow Trump supporters, man, I just have a cringe sometimes. I don't even want to talk to them about it because, they just support him even if he did like crazy shit that they knew was bad. Well, I'm not doing that. I mean, I think he's a creeper. I'm sorry that I had to vote for him. Yeah. No, Steph Curry didn't go to Virginia Tech. He went to Davison. Yeah, I've been wrong on sports before. There's a perfect example, Steph Curry. I didn't think he was going to make it in the NBA. No wonder I'm not a basketball analyst. But it matters where you get drafted. Yeah. That RG3, I think if he went to different teams with different philosophies, he'd have been a superstar in the NFL. Some of these top draft choices, they get their confidence broke. It's just like going into the G League. Yeah, Del Curry, he was like a, okay player. That kind of felt a little sad. I guess I buy into the Hollywood story too myself. And that is, the story, you meet somebody, you grow, your relationship gets stronger. He always seemed like he had a really nice relationship with his wife. She's a good looking older woman. Yeah, it's his dad. Yep. Yeah, she's a good looking older woman. Yeah. No, I don't. Not really. I mean, they used to do a lot of, no, not really. I mean, I think Japanese women like age well, good skin, but all their tits look the same. And they're not like super knockout to me. You know what I mean? Nah, they block out a lot of shit. They censor a lot of stuff in Japanese stuff. Yeah, they're beautiful, but they're not good performers. I mean, they're just attractive women. You're not going to find any Linda Lovelaces or Seikas or Tracy Lords. They're all like kind of like high school sex type. None of them are like deep throat and a fucking 12-inch dildo or anything like that. It's all like kind of like June Lockhart in porn, Bewitched, just like the lowest level of like getting down. Yeah, nothing's not really any great shit. It's not like Brazilian or German fuck. I don't think those fuckers say no to anything. Yeah. No, the women are super attractive. And they're all, and this sounds terrible, but, I'll admit to it. They're subservient. They're always like letting the man run the show and whatever he wants. Yeah, fuck yeah. That's another thing that's dead in this country. And I guess maybe it should be. Fuck, I don't know. But it's the same old adage: women, be careful what you wish for. Now you get to raise the kids and you get to work full time. But I like feminine. I like the old school. It's like, yeah, it's because you're a control freak. And it is true. I'll admit to that. I think I am kind of like a control freak. I don't know. I think it's just, being a normal man, a straight man, I guess. I don't think it's fucking control. It's not like I'm like, not like you're thinking you can't do this, you can't do that. But I think I mean, I do know this, like for most of my early life, I was like the most jealous son of a bitch you'd ever meet in your life. I mean, there's no secret. I got fucking mental problems. I mean, I'd get in arguments with girlfriends about sex they had with guys before I even knew them. That's how fucking nuts it is, man. Just like dwell on this crazy shit. I swear to God, I could go and lay down in my bed right now and just start thinking about my wife before I knew her. That's how fucking that's not normal. Get all fucking pissed off about something that happened 50 fucking years ago. The fuck? I don't dwell quite as much as I used to. Thank God. Fucking nuts. I do know that I'm nuts. I know my strong parts and my weakness. Yeah, I got a lot of those. I'll tell you that. Like I said, I've been lucky, and that detective agency story is a perfect example. I've been so fucking lucky. It's unbelievable. I actually, if I think, and my parents were druggy fucking boozer losers. I'm lucky I'm not a fucking drug addict or alcoholic. Really, I don't know what else it's not discipline or realizing what that did to their lives and none of that fucking bullshit. I'm just not into it. It's like being gay or straight. It's not because my fucking scoutmaster showed his pee-pee to me on a fishing trip. I just fucking like girls. Happy for it. Not guys, man. Not like interested in experiment. I mean, I'm not even like good for people. Whatever you want to do is fine. Not religious at all. No, I try to be like a good guy, but I got I used to have like a crazy fucking temper. But I think that's just like getting older. The fire is dissipated from my balls. Now I'm just turning into an old guy that fucking watches birds. Which has helped my ability to read better, more, piano, learn things, stuff like that. Yeah. Hanging in there. And fucking YouTube's been great too, man. I mean, it's my deal is with YouTube. It's never, I mean, it all depends on what do you, I mean, I don't really consider I have a successful YouTube. I mean, I know better than this. The detective agency, yeah, I was the owner somehow. I don't know how that happened. And it was just luck afterwards. But YouTube, you know, I don't know. I don't really care about like, I mean, I say I don't care about it. I mean, I guess I do because I did want to have like people come to my channel and talk and stuff from day one. And I did like, you know, try to get that happening at the beginning, but it wasn't any of those efforts that got people to subscribe. It was, you know, prostitute interviews. That's it. You know? Yeah, she did. She was living in Chicago. I don't know if she's still living there or not. I never was really attracted to Seika. Yeah, no, I look up those old porno. You know, I had lunch with Johnny Holmes one time. Cindy will appreciate that. Coronius Palace in Ypsilanti, Michigan, right across from Deja Vu. Had lunch with Johnny Wad. Now, how about that for a story, huh? No shit, Johnny Holmes. Did I ever tell you about that? How that happened? I'll tell you if you want to know it. It's kind of interesting, but although it's really lacks like fucking much detail because Johnny Holmes was fucking high the whole time. He was high the whole time. You know, they would come into these X-rated theaters and like sign autographs and shit like that. I knew the guy that was running the place. No, in case I haven't told you this before. So get this. So, you know, I'm fucking been totally addicted to porn my whole life. And, you know, so of course, when I moved up to a 4-year college and they had a porn thing, I mean, that was the fucking fuck books and pencils and that shit. I'm going to check out the porn, which I did. And I was going there all the time. Well, during the course of going there, that's before you could get VCRs and shit at your house. You had to go to places like that. I'd got to know the guys. Either I knew them from school, some kind of way, and they're letting me in free and that kind of shit. And we were friends. And these porn movie stars would tour around and they come into town for 3 days and they'd get some these old fucking perverts show up and get a picture with them, that kind of shit. Well, I didn't give a fuck about any of that. Well, anyway, Johnny Holmes came into town for like a 3-day deal. So the guy that I know, Johnny Wad's there the first night. The second day, my buddy calls me up. He said, hey, there was a Greek restaurant right across from the porn place, Coronius Palace. He said, hey, we're going to go out to lunch. You want to go? It's like, yeah, I didn't really even give a fuck about it. It wasn't like, you know, even though I liked porn, I didn't give a shit about the stars and shit or wanted to keep in touch with them or get their autograph. I didn't care. But I thought, yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. I'll go down there. So we go to Coronius Palace. Johnny Holmes, his eyes are all bloodshot and shit. And I asked him a couple questions and he was like quiet, nice guy, real fidgety. He looked like a druggie. And it really was kind of like, wasn't like we got to know each other, you know, it was maybe fucking 20 words. Anyway, the next night, which would have been the second night, you know, even back then in those porn places, it's low budget. You're not getting 200 people showing up. It's 50 fucking guys that are like porn, and, you know, and the place is never filled, right? So you got one person doing everything. You got, when you start the movie, you lock the door, that kind of shit. And that's exactly what they did here. So Johnny Watt's staying in a hotel around there, but he's hanging around the fucking porn place even after you would have been there to sign autographs or such stuff. So my guy calls me up about 10 o'clock one night. He said, hey, I'm going to ask you something, man. I said, yeah. I said, what? He said, are you sure this fucking Johnny fucking Holmes isn't gay? I said, no, not really. Now, he later on did gay films, and there were things that I guess he did for money because of his drug problem. I said, no, why do you ask me that? He said, well, this motherfucker came up to the, you know, the projection room was on the top. He said, he's up here like fucking hanging around, like almost like flirting and shit, like making like gay jokes and stuff. I said, well, no, I don't know anything about that. Well, nothing ever happened. Johnny Wad quit going up there after he didn't take the bait. But lo and behold, years later, we found out that Johnny Wad did that kind of shit because of his fucking drug problem. But isn't that crazy? And I met a couple other ones there just by happenstance. Candy Barber was there too. Yeah, this guy that I know, she stayed with him the whole time she was in town, Candy Barber. But a lot of those porn people, I ran into Paul Thomas in New York City one time with a buddy of mine. I had a flight instructor that got a job flying a Learjet out of Philadelphia. And we go to New York City sometimes and have a layover. I was riding around with him. We were walking down like a main drag in New York City. I recognized Paul Thomas, porno movie star. He was from Winnetka, Illinois, a rich Jewish area. So anyway, I stopped him. I said, hey, Paul Thomas. He turns around and he said, yeah, do I know you? I said, no. I said, I just recognized you. Just wanted to say hello. It's my buddy. I said to my buddy, this guy's a porno movie star. He said, well, hey, good meeting you. Yeah, have a good day. Yeah, some of those people were educated. Little Earl Annie, she had written some Baroque music, actually. Married kind of a Jewish high school teacher. I know they canned her once they found out she was into porn. That's another thing I really don't agree with. I mean, porn, whether you like it or not, it's legal. I don't think you should lose your job over it under this moral platform at school systems. I really don't. I wouldn't have a problem with somebody that used to be in porn teaching school. I mean, it's got fucking nothing to do with it. That's like assuming every gay guy is a pedophile. It's absolutely false. It's not. I mean, I know most gay guys I know, or all of them really, I think I know, they'd turn somebody in a heartbeat for that shit. It's got nothing to do. It doesn't go hand in hand. Yeah, Seika, I know she's up there. But you look at these Marilyn Chambers, all of them. This is one of these things. It's like eating meat. I'm an animal lover, but I eat meat. Yeah, well, okay. I believe in the food chain, this kind of thing. I do have thoughts about it sometimes. Like you're never really comfortable about certain things that you do in porns like that. I've had girls ask me about getting into it or stripping. I fucking highly recommend that they don't. Do not do it. It was with a K. It was with a K. Yeah, they're long gone. Coronius with a K. It was Koreno. Coronius is like a common Greek name. It was Coronius Palace. Yeah, it's with a K. And it was whatever street is Deja Vu's on. Yeah, look it up. Coronius Palace. I plugged my damn cell phone into the wrong charger, not in the wall, so it's dead, or I'd look it up for you. With a K. Tracy Gold? You mean Tracy Lord? Yeah, she was like great body. Yeah, super cute. Yeah, but they're just, all these people are fringe. Hey, Lynx, how you doing? Well, that's a one-person survey, Lynx. Yeah, I mean, you can argue that either way. Yeah, what kind of porn? I'm talking about just like kind that the average straight male would watch on Pornhub. Now, you say distorting to the brain and psyche in what kind of way? Washington Street. Yeah, Washington Street. Cindy, do you remember? Cindy's from up there. Cindy, do you remember Coronius Palace? That hot dog place right across from Deja Vu? Yeah, Tom Byron got her into Tracy Lord. I mean, I like it. I watch it. But I don't think I'd really want to hang around with a lot of those people. Tracy Lord, yeah. Yep. There were a bunch of people that later got caught with her movies after they figured out she was underage that got charged with, now that comes up a lot. Now, I mean, that's an argument how they treat people, mainly the female. That's like an old argument, though. I mean, I'm sure that if you look at the casting couch in legitimate Hollywood, I mean, this happens in all facets. You can't really hang your hat on the way females are treated in porn. I know what you mean, but there are a lot of them there that are not drug addicts. They're by there on their own volition that they could always leave. I'm not saying that never happens, but it's not because it's porn. It's because of how males treat women under certain circumstances. Oh, 2000. Yeah, that was probably long gone by then. Now, this would have been 1970s through 77 to 79. Coronius Palace. Yeah. So you were long gone by then. Yeah, it was long gone. I'm surprised. I don't even know is Deja Vu still there. I know that guy too, Harry Mooney. Yeah, I met him through flying, believe it or not. He was dating the Playmate of the Year, Gail Palmer, and things went south, and she turned him in. He went to prison for 3 years for income tax evasion, and it was all over the quarters and the peep show. Yeah. Well, 7:30, really? Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the way I look too, Angie, but if you think about it, she's babysat that place since 1998. I haven't done a fucking thing. So when you look at it that way, that's, but my argument was, which is maybe a shitty argument. Let me tell you, when you're doing you get biased. I remember when I got my, I knew I was getting my ass handed to me by divorce trial. It's judge's discretion. I had a fucking cunt and a half as a judge. I'm not done with that bitch yet. I'm not. I'm going to make a fucking YouTube video about her. She's the most overturned judge. And it isn't like she just, it's judge's discretion. These fucking people can get away with murder. If they don't like you, I don't know whether she didn't like me, she didn't like my attorney, but she fucked me like royal. I mean, outside of the bounds of reasonable. One attorney tried to get his case overturned because she was such a bitch in court. And even though they didn't do anything about it, they did highlight it in their ruling that she was very unprofessional. So I just got the luck of the draw. I mean, these kind of things happen. I'm not really that upset about it. You know what I mean? Wanting to fight. Well, I can tell you this. I spent $60,000 on legal fees. And I think she spent at least that too. Could she be a porn star? Who? Links. Who? Yeah. Who are you talking about? My wife? My ex-wife? Yeah, that's probably long gone. That would have been 77 to 79. I think it was even after there, but not much longer. Oh, the Budge? No, she could not. Spoiled brat, privileged Jewish, went to private schools, Brandeis, all that kind of shit. Lived in fucking Europe for a year. Just has no fucking idea what the real world's like. No, she could not be. She could not. And, when I went down there, all right, take care, Ray. I went and did a dry run to the courthouse because I was staying in West Palm Beach, and the court that I had to go to was Palm Beach Gardens. And I ran into a cleaning lady and another lawyer the day that I went up there on a dry run. And I told them I was up there checking the place out. I had a trial in front of this judge, and they both like rolled their eyes. It's like, good luck. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, it's crazy. But overall, I really I do believe in karma, though, in the way things turn out. I do believe in it. I mean, it may not be. I mean, I do believe this. In my opinion, I think that this way, if something goes to hell or I get dick cancer, that it won't be some fucked up shit that I did. Clear conscience. To me, that's important. I place a high value on people being straight and telling the truth. And that's totally unrelated to religion. I really do, man. I mean, if I get people on, well, you guys know, I've kicked a fucking ton of them off here. They come on here and they make up bullshit about what their kids do. And yeah, no, you don't need to impress me. It's not going to work anyway. making up, saying your daughters are doctors, and just people that try and fawn intelligence. You can't do it. They're Googling shit and they're coming on the chat. They're just a pain in the ass. Big super pain in the ass. You fill up my coffee. So there you have it. I was looking last night. I still want to go to some place and get snowed in. But man, it's not that easy anymore, this change in weather. I think it's temporary, though. It's not. It's just not that easy. I want to go someplace and go get snowed into a blizzard. People can come down and visit me too. People can come down here and just come and go as they want. No, I don't do that, Links. I don't do that anymore. No. Oh, I do it, but I don't record the interviews. I just help them out if I can. Big deal. I count everything that I ever did on my channel, which is how I knew you guys, as nothing. It doesn't even budge the needle. If you could buy somebody lunch or clothes or make a fucking rent payment for them, big fucking deal. There's actually things that I didn't do. Part of some therapy I got one time was like I didn't want to do things that I thought that I derived pleasure from. As an example, like I'll give you an example. It happened to me in Chicago. There was a program there where you could rock crack babies to sleep. And I knew a priest down there that tried to get me to do it. He was a great guy. The only guy I ever missed in my life. And I didn't do it. And I didn't because I just thought, here you are going down there. You're thinking you're like some fucking great guy and like you're just rocking crack babies to sleep. So I didn't do it. And I thought over time, I sorted this out because I think when you should do things like the homeless and the prostitutes, that's fucking nothing, man. You got to to me, there's something wrong with you. And there's a lot of people out there that do this. Like I would never accept an award or money for solving a murder or saving somebody's life. You got to be something wrong with you to do that. No, I say you buy somebody a lunch, so what? I'm lucky. Really a big impetus is I'm kind of like that anyway. But I know that it's a fine line between them and me, and it always will be. It's a fine line. It could be just one little quirk in the fucking, like, let's take for an example, I'd have gotten charged in that information brokering thing as a PI. That fucking business would have went to nothing overnight. Who's going to buy a detective agency where the guy gets convicted of a federal felony? It's worth fucking nothing. So there's fucking, $1,400,000 I would have lost out on. It could have happened. I get charged, the agency, nobody's using me, I got no business, nobody's going to buy it, it's got a fucked up reputation, but it didn't. One little twist in the road, and you can be on the other side, homeless. I could still end up fucking homeless and shit. No, same here. I'm the same way, Pug. I could still end up fucking homeless. And I always think to myself, that could be me. And the older I get, oh, thank you. Well, that's nice. I know you're a good person. You do a lot of nice things. Thank you for that, by the way. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I try to, but I don't look at it like as I would never, list that as like, I wouldn't even like put down volunteer work. I think it's like really nothing. I really do. And let me tell you, those prostitute interviews, honest to God, it's probably one of the highlights of my life. And the beauty of it all, it's like getting married. Okay? Just think how much smarter I am now. Or the life experiences I've had compared to, before the first time I had sex with my wife. It's like apples and oranges. I've experienced a lot. I know what's coming, and I'm grateful for that. And when I went into like interviewing prostitutes, let me tell you, when we were like 18, 19, we go down and get blowjobs all the time down at Cass Corridor. Fuck yeah. I probably got 20 blowjobs from hookers in a 2 or 3 year period. We all used to go down there, get them. And, even then I was always like nice to them. I mean, I was never like treating them dirty or like bad. They used to have 2 famous horror houses in Detroit, the Willis Show Bar and Anderson's Gardens. My dad, I had a fucking crazy upbringing. My dad was a fucking nut job. And he was telling me how to get to these horror houses before I was graduated from high school. Like, it was like, okay, skip the bullshit. He used to always tell me, it'll never get any cheaper. It's like, cheaper? What are you talking about? He said, well, you got dates and movies and, buying them fucking roses and shit. You just go down there and pay for it. Yeah, that's the kind of upbringing I had. No wonder I'm fucking nuts. I mean, I thought that was like, oh, what a cool dad. Fucking weirdo. I had the worst fucking parenting. I didn't even go to that motherfucker's funeral. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, fucking trauma. Like when I was young, you were just a little fucking hot-headed little fucker that couldn't study. Well, now it's not like that. Fuck, if I was like 11 now, I'm sure I'd be in some fucking special program or fucking on goddamn Ritalin up the ass, a record amount of Ritalin. I mean, I'm lucky I fucking got out of there, Back then, I'd probably go fucking nuts now. Yeah, I don't fucking trauma, Everything's fucking trauma now. You just can't have fucked up parents, realize it, cope as good as you can, watch porn, fuck, I don't know. Oh, but what I was going to say earlier, and that is the older I get, I'm beginning to think. Now, I'm not into Buddhism or any of this fucking shit or tarot cards or crystals or fucking Ouija boards. I think it's all a bunch of bullshit, ghosts. But the older I get, the more I think, and I can't prove this to you, so don't ask me for examples. I think that you just like brought into this fucking world and your goddamn fate is kind of spelled out from fucking day one. The shit that goes your way and the shit that doesn't. Which, at least my thinking's consistent, which is why I think I just do try to be a decent person to people that haven't been as lucky as I have been. It's not out of guilt either. It's just doing the right thing. Because I see people in situations and there's no fucking way they were going to dodge that. They just got one banana peel after another. That is trauma. Yeah, I mean, I know it's fucked up. I mean, honestly, I can remember thinking at a young age, I knew my fucking parents weren't all there. I used to pray that they get in a car accident and get killed so I get adopted. Yeah, I really did. I couldn't wait to fucking get the hell out of there, man. I mean, my parents, like, they didn't even, like, know I was going to college and stuff like that. And I was, like, really ill prepared to do any of that shit. I took flying lessons. They could have gave a fuck. They thought I was just going to, like, kill myself. I mean, I had zero support. And I think that has probably led to I'm like a bitter, half full guy. I'm fucking pissed off all the time. I know I am. I wish I wasn't. But I am, Yeah, making wise choices. Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, I don't think it's that cut and dried. I think that there's people, like, say, being gay as an example. Is that a choice or you're born that way? And I think being a meth addict's the same fucking shit. You get the people that are on meth now, like you and I, Jeff. We're not thinking the same shit they're thinking to try meth. We know what it has to offer, and we don't want to fuck with it. But if you have enough tweaks and quirks in your upbringing, in your genes, the way you think differently and you try this shit, and before you know it's ruined your fucking life. Yeah, I wouldn't say that, and these fuckers on these YouTube interviews talk about they just made bad choices. No, I don't agree with that. I don't think that Maddie and Tassie and all these fucking people made bad choices. I mean, you can say that in retrospect, but this fucking bullshit was in the cards from them early on. I'm telling you, there's a way you could have tested all the people that ended up there, and they were high risk. You knew that there was a potential the way they answered questions at a very young age that they were going to get into some fucked up shit, whether it's falling in love with a bank robber, fucking around with dope, getting into prostitution. And to this day, I cannot, other than maybe painful terminal bone cancer, to this day, I actually cannot think of a worse existence to be a drug-addicted, active prostitute. It's the shittiest life ever, every second of the day. Yeah, I mean, you may be right. This is just the way that I, have kind of categorized and how I feel about this stuff. I just, like, it's not good fucking choices, man. I mean, I've been lucky. Yeah, I think so too, Lynx. I think that too. No, there's nothing wrong. I'm all for gay shit, in case you're just tuning in. No, I'm all for that gay shit. I wish them all a big cock. I have zero, I think, and there's a biological basis for homosexuality. I do. Oh, it's a fucking terrible life, man. They break you fucking down where you don't care about anything. You get fucked with by everything. Businesses, the Johns, the police, the court system. You get estranged from your family. You got all this fucking health problems. You don't even give a fuck that you're HIV positive. You got fucking herpes, clap, genital awards, and going to the doctor doesn't interest you. No, they don't do that. Yeah, that's right. It's a fucking horrible existence, though. Especially when you consider, like, just in traditional, like, say, non-sex for sale people, the shit that goes into sex and all that shit. And all of a sudden you're taking a female who in this culture is looked at differently than men, and you're casting her into a life of just having sex with 10 pigs a day and not caring. I mean, that's just super fucking sad, which kind of made me say this. Now, I did do extra stuff for the homeless lady when I was down there in Florida last week. And this is why. This shows you your fucking mind, man. What makes people tick? Here's my interest here. I'll tell you exactly what happened. Yeah, I knew she was homeless. Didn't really bother me. That happens. I get it. I knew she may have been a drug addict. Didn't really bother me. Nothing I can do it. You know what fucking really torqued my fucking emotional strings with her? The thing that really got me like sad, like a little emotional, and I just tried to quit thinking about it, is that she was sitting in a Starbucks in an upper end area where everything's super expensive. And you see women dressed nice coming in to get a coffee before work. You see women that are probably married money, that are dressed nice, that are laughing and having a good time, and they're just sitting there having. She's by herself in a corner witnessing this all day long. Now, as fucked up as it seems, that wouldn't bother me. Believe it or not, with all my baggage, I don't mind like not being cared for. I could care less. I don't care if anybody came to my hospital if I was sick. It just doesn't. I don't know whether I just morphed into that because of my upbringing or what. But I also realized that most people aren't that way. And it was just very sad for me to see a young girl that should be like prospering and starting out in life, homeless, witnessing people that aren't all day long, and then going home to sleep in a makeshift hammock in an abandoned building. It's sad to me. It's sad. Yeah, male prostitution. You know where the number one male prostitution place is in the world? Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. Lady Bird Lake, huh? Where's that at? I have to tell Mark Kropka about that. Yeah. Well, yeah, the only thing about being gay, at least a male, blowjobs are a lot cheaper. And you can get sex wherever you go. Yeah, life. Go fucking figure. I'll tell you this, though. I'll tell you this. I'm glad I'm the age I am. I'm not shit. I'm not one of these motherfuckers that just wishes he could like live to 100 or some shit. No fucking way. I've fucking had enough already. Fucking tired. Like I live a good life compared to what it could be, but I just not really that happy. I don't think. It's like I talked earlier about things in the cards. What the fuck is happy anyway? I mean, anything you read, happy is a fucking moving target. It's fucking true. I think it is. Well, it's 67 for Social Security, trying to make it 70. They ought to just, that's one thing Trump, as fucked up as he is. I mean, he's getting, every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry in the world's on fucking Social Security. I mean, I know women that married old men just to get their fucking Social Security, shit like that. Fucking bullshit, man. And they keep talking about Social Security being fucking, I mean, I'll tell you what I do wonder, though. No denying Elon Musk is a fucking smart guy. And for him to just walk out on that new big deal Trump has, because he didn't want his name associated with it, it's got to make you fucking wonder. I mean, Trump's so fucking crazy that, I mean, Elon Musk is crazy too, but he just didn't want to be associated with that. You can, but here's the problem: for every dollar you make, they take like a crazy amount away. Yeah, if you don't, you get a reduced amount, and if you work, they take part of that away too. No, I know anybody thinking of Social Security. I know a consultant. It's like $300, and she worked for Social Security for 30. There's a lot of bullshit connected to Social Security. You can get your ex-wife's Social Security if it's more, and there's all sorts of fucking tricks to it. It's not just simply waiting to when you're eligible. There's no evidence of that, though, Lynx. There's nothing to support that. It's a one-person survey. No, and it. Why would you do that to the whole world? I mean, you can argue that, yeah, you could do that for the United States with Social Security, but why would you do that to the whole fucking world? Just doesn't make sense. And if it was to reduce population and get rid of the dead weight, they did a very poor job. A lot of smart, productive, meaningful people died because of COVID. No, I don't believe that. I don't think there's any logic to that. Yeah, it's a theory, but if you look like me, I have the same problem with myself. You go with what you think, what's a possibility, and then you go backwards and you look for evidence to support it. There really isn't any. It's particularly when it's a global issue. Yeah. If it was in the United States only, and that was your argument for Social Security, good idea. No, I don't think you're going to get screwed on it. I don't think you will. Just hang in there. You ought to be fucking lucky Trump got elected, man, because there wouldn't be any fucking Social Security by the time you're going to retire. And let me tell you, man, I mean, I can't believe that I'm still alive, to be honest with you. I really can't. I can't believe that I've fucking lived this long. And living in fucking Georgia. I lived down here before and didn't like it. Yeah, I mean, fuck. You just never know. Yeah, have a good day. Good talking to you. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Try and make it to evening chat sometime. I mean, I do want to do more interviews. I would like, if you guys know any, 35 years. Yeah, 35 years. That's right. Yeah. But I didn't really work that much, to be honest with you. I mean, I've been a licensed PI for like 40 years, but honestly, I got licensed at 25, sold out at 36. And halfway into owning a detective agency, I didn't really do too much work myself. I mean, where I made my money at isn't from what I'm good at. Other people are better at it than I am. I'm fucking terrible at surveillance. But it's going out and interviewing. I think I'm okay at that. And so, I worked maybe 5 years between 25 to 36, then didn't work from 93 to 98, then didn't work from 98 to 2006, and then worked about 5 years in Chicago. And that was it. So really, I've only worked like, fuck, maybe 15, 20 years my whole life. I got so fucking lucky. I'm not shitting you, man. I really fucking did. I know it too. And I don't think being kind to people. Well, let me give you an example. Like I got that F-150 still. It's got 310,000 miles on it. I put like 60,000 miles on that, and I don't want to sell it to anybody. If you came up to me and said, "Hey, look, I'm broke. I need a fucking car," I'd give it to you, because I don't want to sell somebody something and it dies next week. Because if you're broke and you spend like, I think it's worth like $5,000, and that thing dies, you just spent the money you had to buy that fucking thing. This is the working poor, and I don't want to be a part of that. I just don't. I'll take that motherfucker and have him go over it before I sell it to you. But you know, when I was young, we were turning back odometers, all that fucking shit. Yeah. Yeah, we were, fuck yeah. I mean, I came from like a crooked background, stealing, fucking hot shit all the time. Fuck yeah. And I honestly, by the time I mean, you wouldn't believe the fucking crime I committed when I was young. I mean, if I'd have got caught at one thing too, I would have never been a PI. This just goes to show you how things work. I remember I was about like maybe 23. I thought, I got to quit this shit, quit doing this stuff. I just decided one day to not do it anymore. It's just like now. And for a long time, of course, once you get older, I mean, I just fucking tell it like it is, but I wouldn't say that it leads to like, you don't get the results you think you would. Like, I was thinking last night, I really, since I left my wife, I never really had a girlfriend. I dated a little bit, not much. I had a lot of fuck buddies, and that was fine with me. I'd have one now if I could, but I'm not hooked up here. I have no connections. I probably fucking never have fucking sex again to the day I die. I bet I don't. I can just see it in the cards. And down here, it's just so different. I'm fucking fine with it. That's how I know I'm getting old. I mean, if you'd have tried to put me down here at 35 or 40, I'd have went fucking crazy. I'd be dating, but man, I just can't get into this fucking shit. Here's my problem. I know exactly what it is, and it's not really a problem because I don't miss it. Is that all the shit that I talk? Like I'm a terrible boyfriend, right? Not because of fucking around and doing all that shit either. I spell it out right at the beginning. And I just talk so much shit all the time, and I tell people what I'm really like. Anybody that was 100% together, they wouldn't have a fucking thing to do with me. It's like, this motherfucker wants threesomes. He watches porn. And he's just being upfront about it. Yeah, they don't want fucking that. So I'm already chasing away the kind that I think I'd like, but the kind that I think that I'd like, they can't like do both aspects of it. I think that's something just created in a fucking fiction story. I mean, I do like kind of like the smart, cultured people that appreciate the arts, that are intelligent, but I also like that wild, goddamn crazy fucking sex, fucking threesome shit. And it just does not mesh. It just fucking doesn't, man. I wish it did. But all these women that'll do this crazy ass shit, go along with the program, they're fucking fringe. It's just like pit bulls, same way. By and large, it's not like it was 30 years ago, but same with motorcycle riders. And I'm talking about like motorcycle gangs and shit. There's, same with like mud bogging. There's certain personalities that come along with certain activities. Tailgaters. You know what I mean? It's just in the fucking mix. A lot of stalkers pissed off. You think they're crazy, trashy. Yeah, I had a lot of stalkers at the beginning. I'll fuck those people too to this day if I get an opportunity. You better believe it. I'm a fucking vengeful motherfucker. I mean, most of these broke motherfuckers, they don't have anything like these fucking that cunt from fucking Flint, that fucking nitty. I mean, they're just fucking the dregs of society. That fucking survivor girl, what a fucking white trash loser. I mean, they don't have anything, you know. What are you going to get from them? Because the smart people, the successful people, you know, like quality, something worth being around, like Cindy, her boyfriend got lucky. Yeah, they got something. They got like assets, they have money, they live good lives. They're not like renting in a Section 8 apartment, broke, nuts, baggage. I mean, all these stalking motherfuckers have common denominators. And as you guys know, you know, that have been around a while, a lot of this shit that I talk, it's really like, I'll give an example, like fat women. Yeah, I don't really mean that from a personal standpoint. I do that to fuck with, you know, 3 like known fat fucking stalkers that really tried to cause me problems, have me swatted, all sorts of shit. It is true, I'm not attracted to fat women, but it's not like they can't be good people. But you never know that sometimes when I talk shit about it on YouTube, because I know it just, they report my videos, fuck with me and all that kind of shit. See, I took a lot of their weapons away from them in YouTube too. When I quit monetizing anything, first of all, there's no fucking money on it anyway. If you look at all the videos I upload, you can tell how much you get paid if my videos were monetized. All those fucking videos, 25,000 or what the fuck ever. That ship has sailed, man. If I monetized mine, I think I get like $200 a month. It's not worth whoring myself out for $200 a month. I'm better off just being myself, telling it like it is, not worrying about. Because when you upload a video, you got to check so many boxes that you're fucked. I don't care what it is. You could upload a video of Jesus walking on water, and they'll fucking find something wrong with it. It's an opinion, potential for conflict, just a bunch of fucking bullshit out there that they can ding you because they want your ad content to be vanilla, generic. They don't want guys like me. I mean, that's one thing I'm thankful for. I got in the good days with YouTube. I mean, I go down there, I really wanted to know what was up, what were blowjobs going for, what's the, you know, what do you charge, you know? I mean, fuck that. Those days are over. You can do it now, but you cannot monetize. They will fuck you 6 ways from Sunday, which I'm fine with. I don't want to monetize it. I've been looking into get my own server because I expect YouTube, if things keep going, they will eventually find a way to get rid of me. They don't want guys like me around anymore. I don't really give a fuck about it, to tell you the truth. I don't. It does aggravate me a little bit. And I feel sad for people that bought into the program of being creators, but not that much. I mean, if they ended my channel fucking today, I'd be disappointed, but it's not the end of the world, because they've, just like Facebook did, they will corral you into their ideology, but it's their fucking platform. I mean, no matter what, they can do whatever they feel like doing. They want to make me do this to upload a video. It's up to them. It's their platform. It's about money, digital advertising. You don't want your ad to come up in the middle of me asking what blowjobs are going for on Michigan Avenue. I don't blame them. You want it vanilla. So when I don't monetize, I don't get any new subscribers, which I'm fine for. I don't get recommended anymore, which I'm fine with. It's fine. You can't have it both ways. Do you ever see the old people that you used to interview? No, I don't. No, I don't. You know, I don't live there anymore. I live in Georgia now. I don't really know what's going on with Maddie, to tell you the truth. You know, I don't really know. I don't know what's going on with her. I mean, once in a while I'll catch one, you know, and it looks to me like Gerald's out back on dope. Maddie, I guess she's still locked up. I don't really know. Somebody tried to scam me a couple of weeks ago, impersonating her. Need money, which I would happily send money to Maddie in jail. Maddie's a sweetheart of a person, by the way. Just like get caught up in this fucking bullshit. And I would still help Maddie if she needed it. And you know, when you're in fucking jail, man, $100 goes a long way, and I don't know what the fuck they spend it on. I don't care. I never gave money with strings attached. None of my fucking business. I don't. Do they buy dope with it? Probably. I mean, it's just stupid fucking logic. You know, the people that don't, if they don't like you, and believe me, you know, I got plenty of enemies. You know, you enable, how many deaths you call, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Swollen and itchy? Oh, did you get stung by a wasp or something? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think I helped him too much, Jed. I don't really think I helped him too much. I mean, I think I did what you would do. And, you know, fuck, I didn't know. I went into it innocently, which I'm thankful for. Because if I knew then what I know now, I'd probably never done it. I mean, I never went out planning on people watching a YouTube channel. I mean, I'm happy that it's happened. But, you know, as you know, if you've been around a while, I've never once wanted thumbs up, subscribe, none of that bullshit. I'm happy. I could care less about it. I never really did that. I still don't. You know, if I go on a YouTube channel, I mean, I do find myself going on. If you go on that TikTok, I mean, now you go on there, 10% of the videos are some poor fucker dying. Or these women, their husband dumped them and they want to know how they look or how old. I mean, I don't think this is any act of kindness, but I know how you can get behind the eight ball. And I probably spend an hour or two every night just making nice comments to people that are fucked. There's some handicapped guy. He'd probably get mad, B4 or something like that. Some guy that is a disc jockey up in Michigan. I mean, I go on there and compliment him and stuff because I can see these fuckers are, you know, they're just like born like with problems. I mean, when you're born like that and you don't know any better, like at this age, you can say, well, what about the women and shit like that? I'd say, yeah, it ain't that big deal. But when you're starting out in life and you don't know that yet, it's pretty disappointing to be like a 22-year-old guy and women don't want to go out with you. That'd be a fucking like major like downer. And I've known this is just my empirical observation, just meeting people throughout my life. These handicap guys, you know, the women take their picture with them and they kiss them and they get a picture and a selfie and all this fucking shit. That's about it. I'm not saying that there's some isolated extreme example of, but by and large, that's where the line gets drawn in the sand. They think you're great, you're talented. I bet the women really like you, but they're not fucking having sex with you. No way. Not happening. No, your sex life is like fucking zero when you're handicapped. Yeah, Hulk Hogan. I ran into him in the airport in Tampa one time. Him, his wife, and his daughter, they were flying out of there. I was talking to him for a little bit. Nice guy. The daughter was really like cute. I remember she was like 15 at the time. So however long ago that was. Real tall, like probably 6'1". Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, he lived longer than he probably should have. That crazy wife of his what kept him on. Yeah, have a good day, Jeff. Sharon. There's a bitch right there. You know, you can get turned off by comments people make about something. And she, you know, that Susan Boyle, the lady that's the Good Boys. Yeah, Sharon Osbourne. I heard her say on a talk show one time that she got hit with an ugly stick. And I thought, what a bitch. What a shitty thing to say in public. But I think Ozzy Osbourne would have been dead. I ran into him in a Starbucks in Chicago. Yeah. He was standing in front of me with the drummer. You know what I said to him? You look like Ozzy Osbourne. And as soon as he answered me, I knew it was really Ozzy Osbourne. And the drummer kind of smiled, and that was it. I didn't talk to him or anything. He's short, like maybe 5'4", 5'3". They were getting a Starbucks coffee. He's doing good. Yeah, Daisy. Yep, still hanging in there. He's doing well, yeah. Stays inside the air conditioning all the time. Yeah, she's doing well. Yeah, fucking crazy, man. Yeah, I do. A lot of those girls up there, I do wonder about them. It's a terrible life. I mean, honestly, the notion that Maddie and Becky are still alive is a miracle. I mean, what the body can take. Just no nutrition, like fucking, god damn, man. It's hard to believe. But I'll tell you this, man. That's the whole theory of evolution, that you can damage your body, but still produce offspring. But those people are going to live miserable 60s and 70s if they make it that far. Yeah, she was a fucking cunt, Sharon Osbourne. Her dad was a record producer. She kept him alive, big control freak. She was like a helicopter mom. He was more like a child to her than a husband. But she saw an opportunity and did it. He probably pulled her hair and spanked her ass just right. Who knows? You never know. Probably into some kinky fucking fetishes. That Kelly and Jack, the kids turned out better than I thought. Whoever did that plastic surgery on Kelly is like A+. I mean, she was just kind of a homely, fat, unattractive girl that they made good looking. She was cute as hell after that plastic surgery. Lost weight. What a bunch of pressure, though, as a kid. Can you imagine being born in Osborne? I mean, you keep trying to, certain people like Monica Lewinsky. I mean, what the fuck do you do after the cat gets out of the bag? I mean, every damn woman on here has been fucked under similar circumstances, but we'll never know about it. Therefore, it didn't wreck your life. But something like that. And now what do? You design purses or fucking go on TED and talk about how you got hung out to dry. I mean, it fucked her life up, which is sad. Smart Jewish girl, too. But that's the kind of publicity that'll just wear your fucking ass out, man. Everywhere you go. And I've seen people, Marilyn Manson, talk to her like a fucking asshole one time on a show, bringing that Clinton shit up. Yeah, not very good. Yeah, not very good, though. He married that older woman. I think she kept him alive. But he was on drugs. They caught him running around nude. Oh, she does. How is it, Brittany? How is that podcast? No, I mean, I saw him on a YouTube thing not too long ago. It doesn't even seem he knows what fucking state he's in. Yeah. That's one thing that Hollywood can teach you. Royal family, all that shit. That money and fame, that's no shortcut to happiness. You can distract yourself a little. I mean, look at all these movie stars and stuff. They're always getting divorced, getting each other arrested. Fuck. I mean, Glenn Campbell, he had all those gold diggers after him. I mean, I think the one thing worth keeping is your privacy. I would not want to be famous. No way. I would not. Yeah, Randy Travers. Yeah, he was out nude, running around, something fucking drugs or something. I'll tell you something, a pet peeve of mine. You know how you have shit that just pisses you off? No, I haven't. $220 the most. I play a lot of lottery. I do. No, never hit anything big. But I buy them, especially when the pots are high. No, haven't. Free tickets. I'll tell you one thing that's been a disappointment. They changed that Mega Million to $5, and the whole theory was that you'd win more things other than the grand prize. Fuck. I won $15 once. That's going on like 3 months? And it's a $5 ticket. Reclaiming. Oh, interesting. Oh, reclaiming. So what is reclaiming exactly? What is that exactly? What is reclaiming? I don't know what that is. Yeah, I really don't. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'll tell you, I've known some people oh, oh, Monica's title. Oh, okay. That's what they call that. Oh, like reclaiming their life? Oh, okay. Yeah, it wrecked her life, though. It really did. I mean, this is the fucking way it is, man. You know? I don't know what made me think of this, but when I was living in Michigan still, they had a school board administrator that some people didn't like. And he was fucking his secretary, and somebody must have, oh, I got it. Okay. He was fucking his secretary, and of course, you always got people that don't think you're doing your job. So some motherfucker got in his office and filmed him fucking his secretary over about a 3-month period with hidden cameras. Whoever it was went in there, put these video clips together, burned DVDs, and mailed them to the whole school board and to the guy's neighbors and to the ladies' neighbors. Mailed them. I know the FBI got caught, got involved. Believe it or not, the FBI over this fucking shit. And they never did catch him, as far as I know. But they both resigned. But they had about like 105 minutes of them fucking over a 6-month period with hidden cameras. And they burned DVDs and mailed them to everybody on the school board. Now, you can say, well, that was obtained illegally. It was an invasion of privacy. That's true. Then why'd you resign? Well, there's no way out. I mean, it's like you can't unring the bell. Hey, James, how you doing? Oh, fuck yeah. I'm all for revenge. Oh, fuck yeah. Now it would. It's just like looking in windows. Fuck, that's all we did when I was in high school, is look in windows. Now it's a fucking felony. It'll get you on the sex offenders list. Back then in the 70s, looking in windows was like, boys will be boys, but not now. No. Be on the sex offender list. I mean, it is fucking weird, but we were young. We wanted to see our fucking neighbor girls nude. I mean, it made sense. Same fucking reason you bought Playboys. Wasn't like we were thinking of kidnapping them. Yeah, but that shit's all fucking changed. I think revenge porn is a good law. Yeah. But that was revenge porn, but you don't know who to prosecute. You don't know who to prosecute. But, I mean, can you imagine that fucking shit? They send 105, like a DVD to the school board member. It's like, oh, what's this? And you put it in your DVD player. It's like, holy shit, that's Mr. Smith fucking like a rabbit. Oh, big time, Jed. Yeah. It's Mr. Smith just fucking the hell out of his secretary. Yeah. God. I mean, if you're on a school board, that's a fucking problem. I mean, if you burned a 120-minute sex tape of me, I don't give a fuck now. What's it gonna do? Except prove to you what a fucking absolute stud I am in bed. I mean, I wouldn't even be embarrassed at this stage of the game. Now, if I had kids and a wife and all that fucking shit, I was on the city council, it's a major fucking deal. But at this stage of the game, fuck yeah. I'd get my own fucking OnlyFans. I'd look at it as a sign. I'd call up Frisky. Yeah, even then, they used to do nothing about that. Now that's a separate charge. Recording in private. Yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah, they fucked up. That can happen to anybody, though. Now, I know he resigned. I don't know if she did or not. I mean, I wouldn't have an affair now. I wouldn't do it, but I understand how they happen. Yeah, I mean, you guys know how this. I would never, as fucked up as I am on my beliefs about things, I wouldn't. It wouldn't ever come to that. You're never going to catch me in a lie in a relationship with me. That's because we just spent 3 hours filming blowjobs with your girlfriend, and I got nothing left. Yeah, HVADR. Yeah, but emotion, man. Human beings, don't ever forget that your life is controlled by emotion. Her husband, I think she was just recently divorced. He was still married. I mean, your sex life is zero. You've been married for 20 years. Blowjobs out of the question. They're disgusting to you. And you're horny and you're going into work and she's saying, man, you look good today. And then he's saying, well, yeah, you look pretty good too. It's like, oh yeah. And then everybody leaves and it's late and you've been fucking jacking off thinking about her for 2 years already. And she hasn't been fucked in about 3 years. She just got out of a bad marriage. And there you go. Human emotion. They say a stiff dick has no conscience, and there's an element of truth to that. And she probably really liked the guy. He probably really liked her. And hey, let's go to Coldplay. I mean, yeah. Oh, Epstein. Yeah, me too. I'm beginning, the more I think about it, though, I think Epstein was a paid Russian spy. Yeah, no emotion. It's true. It's fucking true. Yeah. Yeah, but I noticed, like, I guess it's just getting older. I got one fuck buddy left that's still in the chamber up in Michigan. I mean, she's good for anything, but I just don't even want to do that anymore. Yeah, no emotion is true. There's plenty of them out there. But you never know. It's like the same thing like when you get a gun permit, right? They show an example of a guy just beating the fuck out of a lady. Guy comes around the corner and shoots the guy beating the lady. And you find out that the lady that was getting beaten just murdered 2 kids with a fucking knife because she wasn't allowed to go shopping. I mean, you don't really know until you know the inside scoop. It's the old thing, looks like a duck, flies like a duck, quacks like a duck. No, I think it's a possibility. Here's the two big things. One, that prosecutor in Detroit that granted him leniency back in Florida 20 years ago, he said it was his understanding that he was an informant. For who? He was told to go light on Epstein. And he alluded to a government informant. Secondly, if you can talk to the smartest Jews in the world, and it doesn't really add up how Epstein got his money. It doesn't, as far as transactions. Secondly, if you're a pedophile, a pervert, and you got Russia involved, it's a long-range plan. I mean, if Russia promised him 25 years ago through one of these private parties that we're going to get you all the young underage pussy you want if you go on the sly for us for 30 years, and we're going to, send you fucking 100 million to fuck with. It's a possibility. Those fuckers will do anything. They think nothing of supplying a pedophile like that with young underage girls. Russia. And if you look and you dot the I's and you cross the T's, and when they went and looked through Epstein's stuff in his Palm Beach home in the island, supposedly just tons of hidden cameras, DVDs, thumb drives. I mean, why in the fuck? If you're a pervert, right? I can understand you doing that shit yourself. But these fucking cameras, I don't know this for sure, supposedly were in all these rooms. Why would Bill Clinton go there 26 times? The same reason all those guys go. I mean, you can't tell me that there weren't guys there that were just rubbing elbows, that weren't involved in that shit. I don't know this for sure. But I don't think you need to be a Rhodes Scholar to be at a party with all this young pussy running around. King crab legs, fondue, $1,000 bottles of wine to realize that this is a bunch of fucking perverts. You know what I mean? He was a well-known, and I can't believe if you had half a fucking brain, if you hung around with that motherfucker or you were on had a relationship where you kept in touch, you didn't know this fucking guy was a pervert. He had to make comments. You see the girl. I do think they use this fucking Maxine as a scapegoat. I mean, she ran interference for him the whole time. All these guys like that. Larry Flint, Hugh Hefner. There's always some legitimate female, like, you know, uh, Barbara Stanwyck in the background, like adding legitimacy to these leches in their agenda. No, yeah, I really think. I mean, it's just, and here's the deal. And then you put the cherry on the top. You know, you have a duty to protect people from themselves. If you got a guy that you're really going to shove it up his ass and prosecute, the last thing you want to happen is that motherfucker being able to kill himself. Really, go read about this. They take away the sheets. They take away your shoestrings, all the fucking. I was in a mental hospital. I know. You can't, the coat hangers all collapse when you put a towel on them. I mean, it's fucking impossible to kill yourself in a conventional way, like jumping out the window or fucking hanging yourself, because nothing holds. I mean, you could bang yourself head against the wall a million times until you maybe bled to death. But as far as like making it easy, so of all people that you want to keep alive, but I got an idea. The CIA went to work on this. It's like, you need to get, how the fuck, he'd be the last guy you'd want to be able to have kill yourself. What, he hung himself with sheets? Bullshit. And like they just came out with the final report on that. What had happened 6 years ago? And they found no other people involved. Yeah, okay. All of a sudden the cameras aren't working. You're dead. And Prince Andrew, Alan Dershowitz, and Bill Clinton are not getting charged with being. See, where they could have got these guys is, even though that was a island in a foreign land, what was it, Caribbean? I'm not even sure where the fucking place was. You can get them on this global sex trafficking fucking shit, even if it didn't happen in the United States. So I got an idea. Once the powers that be realized who was involved in this shit, it was much easier to just kill that son of a bitch. In Russia, man, like I said, you know, you're going to get other countries. They want to spy on shit too, but they're not going to supply you with underage pedo shit. But Russia, in fact, no problem, man. Fuck, they do anything for intelligence. And it's sure enough, fucking Epstein had Harvard in his back pocket, had the Donald Trump thing is vague. You know fucking damn well Donald Trump has got fucking 20 people with high IQs going through every fucking thing they got from Epstein, from his Florida place, from his island, and they're going through that with a fine-tooth fucking comb, making sure, and I'm not saying he was implicated in it, making sure that there isn't anything that's going to connect the dots. But I just find it hard to believe that you could have a relationship with fucking Epstein and not realize he was a fucking pedophile. I mean, what older guy doesn't like young girls? But that young, yeah, most don't. They know the difference. That's a whole nother level of weirdness. And I can't believe that you wouldn't have picked up that along the line. All you got to look is the people, you know, jammed in that Gulfstream 3 you had. Clinton, 26 flights there on that private airplane. Now, look, do I have any proof that he was involved under it? I don't. Do I look at him differently? Yeah, I fucking do. You're trying to tell me, and who knows how much relationship you had unrelated to trips to the island. You're trying to tell me Bill Clinton, and you notice all these motherfuckers, Alan Dershowitz, Bill Clinton, they've all kind of laid low. They all kind of fucking disappeared. Even look at the past presidents. Look at Obama. Where the fuck is he at? Look at George Bush. Where's he? They just all kind of just got the hell out of the way. You're not seeing pictures of them at Captiva Island on vacation. So it's just hard to say, you know? But yeah, you couldn't have had a better spy. I mean, can you imagine the power you'd have if you had like 100 hours of tape with your leader with underage women? Fuck, man. God knows what kind of shit you could get away with. I guarantee you, man, when that fucking Epstein thing went down this last time, there were tons of people just waiting for that other shoe to drop, and it never did. Evidently, there's a fake list going around to a manifesto of the people that went to these parties. Kennedy was over there too, Trump's guy. Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, I would too. Absolutely right. You're not kidding. Got too many enemies nowadays. Yeah, you know it, man, for sure. But Epstein would have just been a perfect, and you're just as a pedophile like that, you're not going to have that kind of access. All of a sudden, you got a whole country that's lining you up with like this crazy illegal shit in order to get your feet in and infiltrate American politics. I mean, it was a perfect setup. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you wanted a great spy. It's the same thing they do with prostitutes and get them on heroin. They control them. And once here you have a pervert. He's getting all the young girls he wants. I'd like to know how many times Epstein was over in Russia. I do. And all of a sudden, you got this big pedophile that has this big perverted island, and you sucker everybody in that's perverts too. And you get tons of videotape on them, recorded conversations. I mean, here's another thing that makes you wonder too. Donald Trump, 20 years ago, was known as a clown. I have no proof of that. Donald Trump was just a clown, just a big mouth jack off with bad hair that was a buffoon on a TV show that fired people. And guess what? Two-term president now. That whole thing turned around. And you know that they found pretty good evidence that the Russians infiltrated voting, fake votes, hiding things, making servers go down. I mean, so the whole thing, from a spy issue in a long-range plan, works perfect. Only thing that I've read, if you read blogs, and I mean, this isn't official sources, so you never really know. It looks like Trump was into like getting peed on and shit by young girls. I've seen quite a few comments about that. So for all we know, Epstein's got fucking, had 200 hours of videotape. And who'd ever thought, back when the days seemed like they'd never end? You got money, you're over there's just tons, all these young girls, they're young, but you're not going to ask. So you just get drunk, and you spend a week, and you think, fuck, man, what a great time. And then the whole house of cards collapses. But by the time it collapsed, that fucking Epstein had just had cameras rolling for years. I'm sure that airplane was bugged. Oh, Martha's been, yeah. And look at how much money these guys have compared to when they went in. The Obamas are perfect examples. The Clintons are too. They sure made out financially. Oh, that's interesting. Are you talking about Epstein? Yeah. But he conned the fucking hell out of Harvard. And Harvard knew he was shaky and still kept dealing with him. I'll tell you, Harvard stock's at an all-time low. I mean, they do not have the reputation they used to have. There's people now that actually wouldn't go there. There are Fortune 500 companies that don't recruit from Harvard anymore. Allowing hate speech, fucking with the Jews. Yeah, they got cut the fuck off on tons of funding. I never realized, like Columbia and stuff, the federal funding they got. I never realized these private institutions got this kind of money from the federal government. I knew places like the University of Michigan did and stuff like that, but not 100% private schools. Yep. And I'm sure there's some people in that Epstein thing that kind of got talked into that shit that really wouldn't have done it on their own, but they were pressured to become a part of that crowd and like either you're in or you're not. But it just, from everything, what happened, what hasn't happened, it just reeks like Russian spy. You got, and all the damage has been done. You got Donald Trump in bed with Russia. He can't do shit. I mean, if you had that kind of shit on Donald Trump, you're fucking home free. You'd have never done it with Jimmy Carter. I don't think you'd have done it with the Bushes. I don't think Bill Clinton would have been that stupid. But Donald Trump, fuck, no problem. They say the easiest guys to fuck are rich men with big egos. And you couldn't fill the bill better. No way. I mean, now he just got this 747, 800 donated by a fucking country. It's the whole fucking thing stinks. Yeah, what really stinks is I'd vote for the motherfucker tomorrow. Those are the choices that I had. God, it's fucking sad. Yeah, it's fucking really is sad. I think it is, man. Just never fucking know. Fucking world's nuts. Which is why this place is attractive. There's nothing here where I live. Just vacant land, vultures. Everything's out of business. I got to drive an hour to go to get something good or a bookstore. But I like it that way. You know, I really do. I had a place, I think they stripped my drain plug. I got to fuck with that. I should have done it today. I didn't feel like it. I didn't sleep that good last night. Hotter than a motherfucker out. I think it's 100. It was 100% humidity. I haven't seen that in a while. This morning. Hot. So if you guys got any ideas for chats or anything, let me know. I'd like to try it out. You know? Well, I think I'm going to sign off, you guys. Do a little reading. Appreciate you coming on. Thank you. Have a good day. Don't read the news. You'll go crazy. James, you have a good day. Frisky, party on. Jed, rock on. Pretty News, you party on. Hope you guys have a good day today. Yeah, thank you, Cindy. Have a good day, Cindy. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, have a good day. I will do more. I don't even think I've done one. It's the first one I've done on this new computer I got, which is working great, by the way. Yeah, I uploaded videos, fucked around with it, tried a lot of different ways. It's working good. I don't even think I'm going to get that desktop thing now. It really can't justify it. You will see that I'm going to fool around with the editing program a little more. Just because I'm fucking bored. I am bored, I'll tell you that. I did some titles and stuff like that. Just so fucking bored, man. I mean, I know I'm not uploading any interesting stuff anymore. Believe me, I'm well aware of it. I do like clouds and all that shit, but most people don't. I mean, I do kind of like a time capsule, my life. But as far as things will get better with regard to interviews. Yeah, I sure will. I'll do it. Yeah, I plan on doing them, but I found when I plan them, I don't feel like doing them, like spur them on. I didn't think I'd do one today. I've tried to, I had a storm coming in last night. It just kind of died out. So thank you guys for coming on. Have a good day, Cindy. Party on. I'm going to do another channel too, kind of like that pillow talk thing, I think. I'll let you know about it. If you got any ideas, let me know. It'll be just that, just like the old show. Exactly. No, chats, just being a nice guy and playing the songs. Yeah, I knew what you meant. No, I get it. All right. Have a good day, you guys. Talk to you later.